right, listen up, guys. Winter is here. And if you're powering through the holiday chaos like I am, it's time to ditch the coffee jitters. I want you to try Mud Water. This is a clean coffee alternative that will keep you energetic without the crash. I'm talking chai, cacao, and adaptogens like lion's mane and reishi. Every ingredient in Mud Water is organic, non-GMO, it's vegan, gluten-free, and guys, get ready for this, there is zero sugar. That's what makes Mud Water the perfect way to keep energy clean and focused with no late night regrets. You can say goodbye to those sleepless nights. Mud Water's gonna give you all the fuel with none of the burnouts. Guys, take a scoop, put it in water, stir, sit back and drink. It's that easy. I like to add creamer and sometimes I get real fancy and put a little honey in there. That's up to you. And I got a deal for you. I want you to go to mudwtr.com/Chael. That's a 43% savings. Right now, we're going to include free shipping and we're even going to put in a free frother. When they ask, tell them I sent you. Get a new boost in life this winter with Mud Water. Head to mudwater.com right now. Get your starter pack today or just click on the link below. I have kept this to myself. For so many years. Brendan Schaub just did a piece. And he commented that he thought, hey, I can surprise Cain Velasquez. And he said, I end up having an intervention by Joe and Brian and get sent into retirement. And guys, that's exactly the truth. And I don't know why. There's like a group of you out there. And it's the same group. It's the same highly intelligent group that knows that I was undefeated. By any reasonable rule set, there's a lot of intricacies within municipalities. I understand that. By any reasonable rule set, and you same Eagles looking down on all the turkeys, don't want to give Brendan credit. I don't really know where that comes from. I really don't. And I love that he said this about Cain. Because I have truly sat on this for a meaningful amount of time. There was something going on with Brendan that nobody knows except for the guys in the room, except for his teammates, me. And Brendan had just gotten brand new training, and he was loving it. He was like the great light hope down at this boxing gym. And he was at the Wild Card, very famous boxing gym, right? Roaches in there and the names that you would know. Michael Moore, I think, was still working there at this time. And Brendan goes in and he keeps to himself. And if you ever go into a boxing gym, you will understand this. Like, when you show up, you may get ignored for a month. You may end up quitting because you don't feel welcome. You made the right choice. Like, it's one of these things. You come into a boxing gym, there's going to be a bell that runs practice. It doesn't matter if you're a former NFL signed UFC stud. They're looking for a 9-year-old. They're looking for a 10-year-old. They're looking for a second generation guy that can tell you, his last name is Gotti or Mayweather and can follow Linda. I mean, it's one of these things. So you can come into the gym and they'll be nice to you. You'll have your space. They'll give you gloves. They'll give you water. I mean, they would never let something bad happen to you, but they will ignore you. Brendan goes in. He's doing his own thing. He's over there warming up, but he's jumping rope and he's doing the shadow box, and this guy grabs him. This guy didn't know he was in the NFL, the UFC and all these things. Guy didn't know any of this stuff. The guy just sees him and says, hey man, this guy can move. And that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for a child who they can bring up from the Golden Gloves to aspirations of Olympic Games to switch over to pro. Specifically what they're looking for. He doesn't fit the bill in any regard, but the guy sees him and goes, man, you're a great big guy who can move. He loves him, starts working with him. And Brendan he'll never tell you this story. He won't even bring up when I make this video, but he'll say Chael's right. So Brendan starts going in to the wild card. Now, I sparred with Brendan. I was sparring with him every day for a while. He was a different guy. All of a sudden, I'm sparring with a different guy. And the number one difference is you could not touch him. He just understood range. He was one of these natural guys. You may work forever and never understand range, or you might hear guys come out and throw that word at you. You don't fully understand what it means, but you think that you have it. That's fine. You're completely normal. Like that, I'm not condescending down on you for knowing that. I don't fully. I know it when I see it, but I can't go out there and just do that either. Brendan never done it in his career, and all of a sudden he understands range. He's out of the way. When he gets ready to attack you, he steps in, and then he gets out of the way. I mean, it's very basic, right? The fight game, you can talk about it, you can listen to guys with their gold teeth and their 8th grade education, all that you want. You hit him, he doesn't hit you. That's the fight game. It's just a really hard game to play. So, Brendan was a natural at it. I mean, I go 5 minutes with it. I'd be, look at, what are you doing? And he was the bigger guy. He's got to be slower. I'm the one that dances around him. He can't come and dance around me. He's dancing around. Then when I'm out, I'm watching him. I'm watching him spar. And this was the Range Training Center. I mean, this was a who's who. I could really impress you with name dropping. But Brendan's doing the same thing to them. And now all of a sudden he's not getting tired. Like, fatigue is a different thing. The way that he's fighting with this style. Okay, great. So that's 3 times a week that he's getting in there and he's getting this specific boxing. Specific. It's not with an MMA guy at a boxing gym. He's at a boxing gym with a boxing guy. So you're gonna have some things you gotta work out. You gotta, like the shoulder roll and where you place your gloves. It's different when you got 12-ounce gloves as opposed to 4. There's some things that you have to work some kinks out, get this to work. But meanwhile, 5 days a week, Brendan's at Rain. And Rain is seek and destroy. Mark Munoz 101. You see something, you go get it now. You want a body shot, you step, boom, but that body shot is meant to bring that guy down. You hit him with a jab, you're throwing the cross behind it, but it's designed to put him down. You want a takedown. Okay, great, but you're going to go in explosive with everything you got. Get it now. You see an arm bar. It was different. It was a completely different, right? Very effective, but completely different. You had an intensity versus a technique. And athletes are always one or the other. They're a brawler or they're a technician. It's as simple as that. So when Brendan goes and he's getting both sides of this coin, it's going to work. Like, I'm watching it work. I can tell you against guys that this worked. Every 5 minutes, new guy that would impress you. Not only is he winning the rounds, they can't touch him. It's not a matter of who won the round. Brendan would go 5 minutes without getting touched. He's dancing, he's on the outside, he's moving left, he's moving right, he uses a circle. I can picture it in my head right now. He's going this way, okay, he's going this way, turn around, okay, slow down. Then he steps in, and when he comes in, you have to cover. You have no choice. You must cover to take those shots, and then you can fire back. But he wouldn't stand there to get fired back. He's gone. It was so aggravating. But he's still got these 2 coaches, both very influential in his life, and he's trying to show them a respect. Now, this formula works, but it takes time. And he was anywhere from 5.5, 6 maybe, to a far end of 8 months. And he would have had this whole thing down. And that's when they said, hey, we think that it should focus on the entertainment instead of the fighting. And I'm telling you now, and I won't, you have the debate of how he would have done with Cain. But Brendan coming out saying I was going to surprise Cain doesn't mean he's claiming that he was going to beat Cain. But he would have been Cain's biggest challenge. That is absolutely true. I saw with my own eyes. Brendan Schaub would have been Cain's biggest challenge. And if you find yourself in a fight harder than you thought it was going to be, things unravel. And so to Brendan's point that I would have surprised Cain, he would have surprised Cain. And you want to know one person who was aware that this was happening, because California is only so big. You want to know one person that was hearing, hey man, you better be watching this Brendan Schaub. You better be watching him. Don't just look at number 2 and 3 and 4 ranked guys. You better be watching this Brendan Schaub. You want to know one guy that knows that? Cain. Cain would come out and defend and back Brendan on this. At any rate, I'm just bringing that to you. Brendan can't seem to sneeze without that getting critiqued, right? If you're ever stuck on a desert island, either hit a golf ball, light a barbecue, or comment on Brendan Schaub. Because if you hit a golf ball, you light a barbecue, or you comment on Brendan, somebody will come in and tell you you're doing it wrong. So have fun with the topic. but there is nothing crazy. There's nothing even embellished within the statement by Brendan.